Hi Booktube. So somehow we're already in the month of March. I don't know how that happened. Not that I'm complaining that spring is on its way. I'm ready for some more sunshine. But this is one of my favorite months to be here on Booktube. I love participating in all of the reading events. And in the month of March, although there's a plethora of readathons to participate in, I generally pick my three favorites, and I've been doing them for years and years now. So I am going to be participating in March of the Mammoths, Middle Grade March, and March Mystery Madness. Those are my three favorites for March, and I try and go all out and read as much as possible. And typically I have like a pretty good like banner month in March, and I like keeping track of all like the mysteries and the middle grade and all that I read. And for March of the Mammoths, that's where you're going to pick a book 800 pages or more, and you don't have to finish it in the month of March, but I try to, and I try and do like, the first couple of years I was participating, I try to read like, I think the first year I was like, I'm gonna go out and read like 4 of them, but this year I'm gonna try and read 2, or like I said, at least start 2. But yeah, I would ideally finish 1 and at least get a good chunk away through the second one. And so I combed my shelves, and I really wanted to do a fiction and a nonfiction, but that didn't work out because I didn't have any nonfiction on my shelf that were over 800 pages. Some of them look pretty, well, you can't really see them, they're out of the frame here, but they're pretty bulky, but they're like they're thick pages. So even it looks like it's over 800, it's like 300 to 400 because like they're the old binding and whatnot. So I decided to go with 2 fiction books, and one of them I have had on my shelf for quite a while. This talk about Mammoths. This is the 5th book in the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson, Wind and Truth. I got this book like when it came out sometime last year, and it's just been sitting on my shelf, and it is hefty. Let's see how many. It's like reading a dictionary. It's ginormous. It is 1,329 pages. And here are the other books in the series. This is the first series that I read from Brandon Sanderson. The first book didn't really intrigue me, but when Words of Radiance, the second book, came out, that was a book that I think I heard about here on Booktube actually way back when, and it sounded really good. And so I went back and read the first one and the second one, and then I've been reading them going along with the series. But I really like the artwork for these books, and then the inside has really cool. There's a map, but also there's the end pages are really cool. Is there any? And the inside, yeah, there isn't any artwork here. Let's see what's the other side. Yeah, the other side has 2 different drawings here. So I won't go into any detail really on this series because this is the 5th book in the series, and so after this book, Brandon Sanderson's like, there's like going to be a hold while he's taking a break from the series, and then he's going to jump in and do a next 5 books in the series, but like there's going to be I think there's going to be a time jump in the series. But yeah, I will report back on this one. Oh my goodness, it's so heavy. I'm not sure if I'll read this all physically, or I might be picking up my ebook, or I might dabble a little bit in the audiobook. When I read a book with my eyes, I'm not one to jump back and forth from audio to physical books, but this might be a case where that would come in handy. I don't know. I'd be curious to see, because he's such a popular author. I'd be curious to see what the audio sounds like. I'm assuming they might have like a full cast or something. And then the second book is one I recently purchased like a week or so ago at a library bookstore sale. So not like the big like once a year sale, but just a library that had a store connected to it. This is Scarlet, a sequel to Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind by Alexandra Ripley. When I mentioned when I hauled this book, I've not heard about it. I've seen it in thrift stores forever and a day. It's like one of the books you see all the time there. Never gave it any thought. But when Melissa at Libraries and Labradors, I think that's her channel name, she had mentioned this book in one of her recent videos, and really liked it. And so I was like, I need to give that a try. And so the next time I went to a store, here it was. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a go. And it fits the Mammoth criteria because it's just over 800 pages. Let me see. This one is 823 pages. So it fits the bill. I would have liked to reread Gone with Wind before reading this, but I know the story well enough. I can just hop right into this one and not be lost. But let me know if any of you have read the sequel and what your thoughts were. So those are my 2 Mammoths, and that is plenty to be getting on with. But wait, there's more, because I have all the reading plans this month. And so I went and I looked, when I was looking through the Mammoths, these are the only 2 Mammoths I have on my shelf. But I also, I grabbed all of my mystery books except for some like our ongoing series. I grabbed one from each of those series, but all the rest, I grabbed every single thing I hadn't read that was a mystery. I don't know if you can hear the cat, but he's doing something over here. If I get him on camera, well, he's like hopping back and forth, going from one window to the next. But yeah, so I grabbed all the books on my shelf that were mysteries, and all the middle grade books, at least one from each series, and then all the standalones that I hadn't read. So this is like everything. So like I'll be doing really good if I can get through those, and then I'll just have a few books in the series to read throughout the year. But before I get into the physical books for the middle grade March, I wanted to touch base on. Oh yeah, he's up here. You can't see him. I moved. I was looking through the books, and so I think he's interested in what I was doing up there. So he might, for all I know, he's gonna hop from like one bookcase to the next, and he might make an appearance. I don't know. Okay, as long as he doesn't jump on my head, that would be good. So okay, where was I? Yeah, so I want to show my physical books for the middle grade March, but there was at least one. Let me see, was there more than one? No, just one ebook that I wanted to get to. What if I can like tilt the, oh, he's like, there's a book that has a built-in bookmark that he's trying to eat. Okay, let's not eat it. Let's not eat it. He said I'm gonna have a shredded bookmark. Okay, so sorry for the distraction here. So this is book number 49 in the Babysitters Club series. This is Claudia and the Genius of Elm Street by Anne M. Martin. I started this series the first time ever as an adult a few years ago. I want to say, not a few years, like 5 years ago or so. And I was like slowly making my way through the series. And my goodness, this cat is just biting everything. But yeah, so I've been slowly making my way through the series, and I've been reading like all the mysteries and the super specials that have been like in between the books, and really enjoying it. I never read these as a kid. I knew of the series. I saw the books in my school library, in my school classroom, and all of that, but I never gave it any attention. But so I'm reading these as an adult and really enjoying them. And Claudia, it says, how could a 7-year-old make Claudia feel so dumb? So Claudia is like the artsy one of the group. Not that I feel like the Babysitters Club doesn't need much background to it, because I feel like I'm like the last one to the party here. But Claudia, she's very artsy, and her sister is like the one that's really good in school, like the straight A student, the one that's like good in the science and the math and English. And Claudia very much is the opposite of her. And so she often feels dumb compared to her sister. So now I'm assuming like the kid that she's babysitting will be something like that. I'm not sure. Oh, kitty, you're just in all the things. Let's see if I can grab her real quick so it doesn't scratch me. Come here, kitty, kitty. Oh, nope. Hold on. Where did you go? Oh, here you are. Let's see. Say hi to your friends. He is just wanting to roam. He doesn't really like being picked up that much. He'll cuddle. He'll sit with me. Oh, now he's gonna bite. Oh my goodness, he's just gonna bite the books that I have sitting here. He does that. He's like, any book that's like sticking out a little bit, he's been just biting them so hard that that he punctures through. It can even puncture even through like the hardcover. He doesn't do a light little bite. He like tries to really get through it. So he did that with this book. Okay, well anyway, moving to the next book, the one that he just bit. He bit through the paper. Let's see, did he bite through? Yeah, he did. Like I was saying, he bites through the board all the way through the first. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so this is the next book in the series. I've been reading Roger Lee McBride. I was reading through. It's really annoying that I have a big hole in it now. I don't know why. I'll move past it. So I was reading these like generational saga books of Laura Ingalls Wilder. I mentioned these on my recent Little House on the Prairie reading event, Laura Ingalls Wilder reading event that we did in February. And for that one, we did a group read of reading the first book in the Martha years, like the great-grandmother of Laura. But I had already, that was a reread for me because I've been slowly making my way through them. So I read the great-grandmother, the grandmother, Caroline the mother, and then I read Laura's books, and these are her daughters. And so this is, I think, book 3. And so I'm now on this book, so I wanted to read the next book in the series. And so this is, it's still featuring Laura, but it's featuring Rose, who when they are in their house in the Ozarks in Missouri, and this is following her childhood. So interested to see that one. I'm gonna put these up here so that the cat, he's left now, but in case he comes back. Oh my goodness. Okay, at least this wasn't one of the expensive ones, because like some of the out of print ones, the ones of the previous years, the great grandmother and the great grandmother and the grandmother series, are quite expensive. This one was. These books are still in print, so I can replace it theoretically. Okay, so the next one is The Dancing Shoes by Noel Stratfield, and I read Ballet Shoes a couple months ago, and I saw this at the Little Free Library, this Dancing Shoes, and so wanted to give it a go. I think when I looked this up, it was like book 9 in the series, but I feel like you could read these out of order. But this is it says, when Cora goes to pick up her orphan niece Rachel, she discovers that Rachel's adopted sister Hillary would be perfect for her dancing troupe. So yeah, I don't know anything about the whole series. I read Ballet Shoes months and months and months ago, but I found this at the Little Free Library, so throwing it on the pile. Like all of the middle grade books I found at Little Free Libraries, whatever like catches my eye. So we have this speaking of grandma's attic series. This is book 3, I think, because I've been reading. I had this huge chunk of all these books in a series, and all except like one. I have like I don't know, like 10 of them, 15 of them, something like that. But so far, in the first couple books are all these short stories, and this is about like when grandmother was a little girl, like, you know, back in the early 1900s or so, and what they did differently, and like how they would, you know, cook and things without electricity. And so it's been fun reading these little quick books. And then I have a chunk of these Apple fiction books, and this one isn't an Apple book, but I have like a lot of like these like this. But this one, what was the publisher for this one? Crossway Books, a part of a Good News Publishers. Okay, never heard of that. But this is like an ex-library book. It's called Best Friends. Will Kathy Learn to Accept Her Foster Brother by Hilda Stahl. Called Kathy's New Brother. So yeah, we'll see. It's a beat up copy, but yeah, Little Free Library books. I'll just read it and then pass it along. And then I have a Girl Talk book. This is book number 1. So I found this at a Little Free Library. I was like, okay, because I've seen these again as a kid. I saw them, never read them. But I read, I think, book like 5 or 6 in the series when I saw that Little Free Library, and then I saw book 1. I was like, okay, I'll read this one. It says, Can These Girls Survive 7th Grade? Welcome to Junior High by L.E. Blair. And what caught my eye is the cover. Like, look at this cover. Look how they're dressed. Like, oh my goodness. It says it's the beginning of an unforgettable year. Okay, and then I have 2 Apple paperbacks. Kate's book by Mary Frances Shearer, and this is Go West, Kate Alexander. So it might be like a 1843 going from Ohio to Oregon. And these are like endlessly readable for me. Things like this, because I read these as a kid. And then here's another Apple paperback. And this one, I saw this and I was like, this title, what is this? The Broccoli Tapes? What in the World? By Jan Slepian. It says, Sarah has 2 best friends, a cat named Broccoli and a diary on tape. Okay. Should I name my cat Broccoli? This cat isn't green, and the cat I have isn't green, but, yeah, okay. There has to be an explanation there. Okay, so then going to the, March Mystery Madness, and this is probably, like, of all of them, like, my top favorite, because I grew up loving mysteries. I read mysteries all the time, and it's probably like one of my, like, my all-time favorite genres, just because they're so quick and easy to read, and I love it. You can just pick up a mystery book, and you're just, like, thrown into the story. And so let's see here. I'll start with the ebook since I already have my tablet in front of me. So there is, let me go back here. Okay, so the group read for this event is Sarah at Category Romance. I can't even remember her new channel name. Something Category Romance. But she used to be the bookish knitter. But she picked Jessica R. Patch, Her Darkest Secret. And I looked up these books before I put them on my Kindle just now, in my ebook. No, but the tablet, when I was getting the covers. But they're all a blur in my head at this point. But it says it's a psychological thriller. And if I want to remember right, I should have took notes. But this was about a cold case serial killer, where the investigator is now is on the list of the serial killer's victims list, maybe. I want to say that what this was about. And it was interesting. I had no idea when Sarah was talking about this series how it says love inspired here, but it's not part of the category line. It's its own, it's like under the Harlequin, but it's its own publisher, or its own entity, which I thought was interesting. I had no idea about that. And then the other book that she was talking about was like a group read that she was doing is Phantom Evil by Heather Graham, and this is the Crew Hunters series. I've never read this series, and I've wanted to, and this is back one of the first books I started this month. I just started it today, and it's set in New Orleans, and I love the cover. Like, I love these big old houses. But so far I've read the prologue, and there seems to be like there's a ghost that is haunting this, or maybe a group of ghosts that's haunting this house, and they are up to no good. they are doing bad things to the living. And then these people that were like working with like the FBI or someone in DC is getting sent there. So the government knows what's going on. So yeah, we'll see what I think of this one. And this one is a long running series. So if I like this book, there's like 30 or 40 books in a series I could read. Speaking of long series, the other book I started, and I started this early, I started it yesterday when I was out doing errands, is The Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder, the first book in the Hannah Swenson mystery series by Joanne Fluke. I have read the first 5 books, I want to say, a number of years ago, and then I reread this one a few years ago and never continued on with the series, but I really want to. And sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. But yeah, so this is a series taking a small town, Eden Lake in Minnesota, and the characters are constantly complaining. Hannah Swenson, the main character, is constantly complaining in a way about the cold weather, about how she has to plug in her car so she can start it in the morning, how these people just like slipped on the ice when they were driving, and the winter weather and things like that, and how cold it is when she keeps going in and out of her bakery. But despite that, it's a small town bakery in Minnesota, and you know, she gets roped into solving crimes. And each of the books in the series has a food theme to it. So it's like a cupcake or sugar cookie mystery. Each of them has a food name in it, and so these books have a lot of recipes in them. So like, it's funny, it says chocolate chip cookie murder, but the chocolate chip cookie that's featured in here is a chocolate chip crunch, where instead of using oatmeal, instead of like an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, she uses crushed cornflakes. So I really want to try that. I need to give that a go. I don't have any cornflakes at the moment, but it's like threaded through with a bunch of recipes. So I should try at least one of these recipes, and so I'm almost finished with that book. Okay, then moving on to so I have quite a few mysteries that I want to get to. The next one is Charms and Chocolate Chips. Speaking of chocolate chips, by Bailey Cates. This is a magical bakery mystery. Another one where the first one was set in small town Minnesota. This one is set in Savannah, Georgia. Again, I really like books that feature a location like as strongly as like kind of like a side character in a way. But this is Katie is the main character, and this is a reread for me as well. I've read through this is my second time going through the series because there's a new book coming out that I wanted to read. So I think this is book 3 or 4, and her name's Katie Lightfoot, and she's moved from Ohio and is working for her aunt's bakery. And then when she's there, she all of a sudden stumbles upon these like magical powers, but it's not like wave your wand kind of magic. It's more of like these like using like herbal stuff and things, like hedge witch, is that what it's called? And so it's just like a fun, lighthearted series, and it's like that whole like magical element I feel like is perfect for Savannah. And there's a dog and a cat, and like because each of the characters in her coven, her group, has a familiar that's a different animal. So there's like a parrot, there's a giant dog, little dog here, and a cat, and different things like that. Okay, switching gears completely, we have Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I read My Lovely Wife, which was her debut, I want to say. So I'm like trying to figure out what the cat's doing now. He's now chewing clothes hangers, wooden clothes hangers. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I read My Lovely Wife, which I think was her debut a number of years ago, and I've read each of her books. I think I've read all of them since then, and they're always like thrillers that was a twist. And so this one, I read all the descriptions before I selected these books, but now they're all jumbled in my head. But I want to say, just by the title and the cover here, that it's going to be like a retired killer for hire or something like that's coming out of retirement, something like that, I want to say. It says Samantha Downing's signature dark humor is cranked up to 100. And that's a little blurb here, but I'm sure people who read thrillers will recognize Samantha Downing's name, because I feel like she's pretty popular. And this next one is The Fisherman by John Langan, and I want to say this was like a mix of horror and thriller, because it's about two people who, again, this is like vaguely in my head, two people who have like lost something in their past, and they're going to, they have this connection between them of like they like fishing, and so they're going to this river area, and they meet someone who's like, oh, they will fix this, they will fix their problems, but they have to lose something in exchange for it. So it's kind of like a deal with the devil kind of thing is what I feel like. And I heard about this book from Books and Lala, her series. I mean, her she's doing like a book club. I'm not part of the book club or anything like that, but I noticed that book when she was talking about it. Okay, the next one is The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. And then this is another author I've heard about quite a bit. I've never read him though, or her. I'm not sure if it's he or her. But this one, yeah, I can't remember what this one's about, but I feel like this one is like historical or like paranormal mixed with mystery. It says vampires are back, and C.J. Tudor's The Gathering comes to join the fun. The story's fast-paced and numerous twists keep you hooked. So I want to say this one involves vampires. Could be wrong though. Okay, the next one is Nightshade by Michael Connelly, and this one was set in Catalina Island. And Michael Connelly is an author. I think I tried to read one book by him like 20 years ago, or maybe I did read the book. I can't remember, but that's it. And I know he's a popular author, so I want to see what I think of his writing. And this is one of his newest releases, so I wanted to give it a go. This next one is Randy Wayne White, and this is North of Havana, a Doc Ford novel. And this is like, I think book 4 or 5 in a series. And so you don't need to read these in order, but this takes place in Florida. And so again, I like that setting, and it's like a long running series, and I think he's still publishing. And so these books came out a while ago, but looking forward to diving into the next book in the series. And okay, so those are all the ebooks. And then I have, like I said, I grabbed all of my mystery books off my shelf, except for a few that were, like, I grabbed the first book in a series, and I left the rest of the books in the series on my shelf. But other than that, this is all of them. So we have Don Winslow, Broken, and this is a short story collection. And I have read City on Fire. I read that series, and I know he has a couple other series. I haven't read those yet, but I saw this again, a little free library, and so I want to give it a go because I feel like he writes really good novels that his short stories won't disappoint. And then I have an Harlequin Intrigue, Vanished in the Mist by Lena Diaz. Never read this author. I'm hoping for good things. I mean, this came out in October of 2025, and it says, she went searching for a missing girl and discovered a dangerous mystery. And I like these covers. I often like the intrigue covers because it has like that moody kind of the outdoor setting. Then we have a cozy mystery. I've never heard of this one. Never heard the author or the series. This is Lorna Barrett, Tidal Wave, and it's a Booktown mystery. And this one is, she has a bookstore. Haven't Got a Clue is the name of the bookstore. It's rebuilt, and it says Trisha and her sister Angelica decide to book a cruise for some much needed rest and relaxation. And let's see what and so yeah, they ponder the whodunit in deck chairs while sipping colorful drinks and soaking up some sunshine. So that sounds like a fun, like a summary kind of book. Okay, I might want to read that when it's cloudy and rainy here in March. The next one is Town in a Cinnamon Toast. Town in a Cinnamon Toast by B.B. Hayward. That's an interesting title. This is part of the Candy Holiday Murder Mystery. Okay, no idea. It says running a blueberry farm can be hard work, but Candy, what's her name? Candy is never too bushed to help out when foul play visits Cape Wellington, Maine. And I like Maine as a setting. It's a place I've never gone to, but I can visit it in books. Okay, then we have Murder Marks the Page by Karen Rose Smith, a Tom's and Tea mystery. It's giving me very much a Paris vibe, feel to it. This is the first book in the Daisy Tea Garden Mystery Series spinoff. Okay. Daisy's daughter, Jazzy, has opened her own book and tea shop in rural New York. But Jazzy has not only inherited her mother's gift for brewing tasty teas, she also has a nose for sniffing out murder. So I'm curious if I like this one, if I want to go back and read the first book and the other thing. But let me know if you've ever heard of this author or these series. And then the last one is a cozy mystery series I picked up, and again, I looked through the library recently, where I got like the first, like, I think 9 books in the series. It's the Sapphire Beach Cozy Mystery. So I read the first one last month. I'm reading the second one now. And it's Friends, Foes, and Felonies by Angela K. Ryan. And it takes place in southern Florida, where she has moved from Boston and has taken over her great aunt's old apartment. Like, she's died, so she's taking it. And that, like, the first book was just her settling in. So now it's going to see what more's to come from living in this, like, really interesting area. Like a very beachy resort kind of town. So those are all the books. Let's see if can I give you a tower? I don't think I can. This is very ambitious. I doubt I'll get to all of these, but if I can get to half, that would be great, because I have all these physical books, but then also all the ebooks too. So let's see. Can I give you, make a tower? This is gonna fall down. But it's gonna be fun to try. Okay. Let's see. Put the mass markets. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. That needs to be like the cover somehow. I don't know how to freeze the camera and take a picture of that, but I'll try. I'll try and take a picture of it. Okay. I'll put these down here. But yeah, wish me luck on all of these readathons. And if you're participating in any of them as well, it's yeah, wish you luck as well on that. It's hard even just picking the ones I want to participate in. There's so many in March. I don't maybe we're all just yearning for the spring weather. Like, we've all been, like, hunkered in, like, December, January, February. It's like by March we're all like antsy to do things. Maybe that's what it is. Like, we all want to spring clean and we all want to read the books. Maybe that's why there's so many reading events in March. But not gonna complain. I'm gonna enjoy this to the fullest. But I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.